Alright guys, so welcome to the channel. This is Drama Free Gaming. It is what it says and it says what it is. I am Endtime, that's XEND, XTIMEX. That is my gamer tag on every platform, be that platform PS4 or the Xbox. And today I want to bring something a little new to the channel, and it's a card and dice game called One Deck Dungeon. You see me holding it here. It's by Asmati Games, and shout out to my brother who introduced me to the game here about 2 weeks ago. And I went ahead and purchased my own set. This is the, you might say, the starter deck or the starter set. There is an expansion to this where you can create a hybrid dungeon, and we'll get to all that here in a moment. But if you enjoy the content, guys, let me put this at the forefront here on Drama Free Gaming on YouTube. Hit us up with a like and leave any comments. Constructive criticism is always welcome. And subscribe for more content here. We do gaming, we do tutorial videos, and today, for the first time, we're going to be doing this card and dice adventure game. So these are, to my understanding, becoming more popular now due to, you know, the pandy. and yeah, and it kind of take me back to the days of playing Dungeons and Dragons and other role-playing games as such. But primarily I used to do that, used to DM, and playing this game has brought back a lot of fond memories for me. Late nights playing with my group, with the party there. And this game, what it does is it brings in a box everything that you need to go solo, to do 2 players, or even 4-player campaigns. So we're gonna do a solo. I'm still learning the ropes, even though I played a couple of games, both physical. You can also find this game on Steam as well, and I picked it up there and have been enjoying it. I think playing it on Steam has helped me a whole lot. I've already chosen my Paladin. As you can see on the card, it says Paladin, and you want to make sure it says 1 player there, so 1 player. And we're gonna get 3 attack because of the yellow swords. There's 3 of them. We're gonna get 1 for dexterity, that's a pink dice, and 3 blue, which represents magic. And then we have 1 2 3 4 5 health, which does not need to be marked because the card already marks it. At the bottom is a heroic feat. Every hero that comes in the box, it's about 5 of them or 6 of them in total, has a heroic feat which you will play during your turn. And the heroic feat for the Paladin is roll any or all of your dice stored here. So I'll tell you what a heroic dice is a little bit later on, but it's a black die, and it's neutral. It means it could be any color and could be placed anywhere unless a card prohibits that you can use it in a specific place, usually during a boss fight. And so here it says store a heroic here when you open a door, which will be one of these right here, with a 4+ lantern. And the lantern is the experience points. I'll show you here in a little bit what that means. Actually, let me just flip the card. So look, this guy who's an ice elemental, he has 1 2 3 4. He has 4 XP, possible XP that you can get, or 4 lamps. And so if I was to open this during our adventure here, I would automatically get a black die that I can store on my Paladin card, and can store up to 2. And those dice are really cool to have because they add to the other die that you're gonna roll when either you have an encounter or you are addressing a trap. So this would be an encounter that you would fight a creature, and a trap, self-explanatory, okay? But we're gonna get into that. We're gonna shuffle this guy in here somewhere. Leave him in there. That's one of the tougher guys. So I'm going to move the Paladin over. And if you see a little glare, guys, I'm sorry. It's because I laminated these cards so that they will last me a little bit longer. So over here, we have a bunch of cards. And these cards here basically are level cards. So it says level 1, level 2. And you want to make sure it says 1 player right there. See? Because on the back, it'll say, you flip them around, it'll say 2 players. Okay? So 1 player. So that means on level 1, I get to carry 1 item, additional item, and 2 more skills. Okay? So I already have a built-in on my Paladin, a skill that comes with that hero. And that skill says for every 2 hearts, you would lose prevent 1 heart. So if a creature inflicted me for 2, I would only take 1. If it inflicted me for 3, I would only take 2. So you always minus 1, but you always will take a hit. So if it's 1, it's 1. You take damage, okay? So, and that's for both encounters with creatures and traps, damage from any of those. And it's repetitive every single round. When you see that little circle there, it means every single turn. Okay, I can do that. So we're gonna take the card right here that says level 1, put it off to the side here just for my own reference. I'll put it over here somewhere, and I'll put the other ones away to the side. And when I level up, when I get 6 XP, 6 of the lanterns by defeating creatures or navigating traps, when I get 6, then I'll get to level 2, and it'll give me whatever it says on the card. It'll increase my item and my skills capacity. My items will be right here, means I can add additional dice and or health, and you'll see that on the cards. And also the skills will go down here, and you'll see that on the cards as well on our playthrough here, and hopefully we'll get it going here in a moment. So for now, I can carry 1 potion. I'll start off with 1 potion. I get no heroic dice, and so I already put it here, and it says potions. Start with 1 potion token and add 1 for each potion type identified. A token may be spent to use any one of the effects below. So I have 1 potion for now. If I use it at the beginning of a turn, I can heal 3 damage. That's before I do any encounters or explore or any of that sort. If I do it anytime after that, I heal only 2 damage. And that could be at any time during an encounter or at the end of an encounter, we'll heal 2. So we'll leave that there. So let's get our dice. Okay. And we are, look at all these dice that come in this set. It's crazy. And this is what I like about this game. This is cool. Have all these dice. I'm just gonna put it off to the side here. Okay. So we got a lot of dice. So our character, our Paladin, has 3 yellow. So we're gonna take 3 yellow. That's what we start off with. Start off with 1 pink for the dexterity and 3 for our magic, or representative of magic. Okay, so the other die I'm gonna leave over here because we're gonna need them eventually to roll additionally. All right, and as we're playing and things are introduced, I'm gonna try my best here to be clear. If I miss something, for more of you guys who are experienced, let me know in the comments below. Again, I'm still in that learning phase, but there's a lot to manage here. Okay, one of the things that I almost forgot to show you, this card here, which was slipped under our turn reference guide here, which we'll get to in a moment. This is the dungeon that we're going to be addressing. It's the Dragon's Cave. And so every level, every floor I should say, has its own requirements. I'm trying to cover that up as best as possible. But on the first floor, in the Hall of Statues, I will have to spend on the initial turn. It says spend an extra 5 turns, which is the discarding of doors before your first turn on each floor. So this specific Hall of Statues is going to be activated on the first floor on the initial turn as soon as we start the game, on the second floor, and on the third floor. And then after the third floor, it's the boss, which is in this case our dragon. And as you can see, there's a whole lot of dice that we're gonna have to roll to just damage him. And at the bottom of his card, he says there, a heroic dice cannot be placed on a box that has a skull. So you'll understand that a little bit later. I'm sorry again for the glare. My cards, I laminated them, so that's why you're getting the glare. But the cards come and they're just like, you know, hard stock paper, but I did it so that it just lasts a little longer. So that's just one of the exceptions. I won't be able to use any of those neutral color or black dice to cover up those boxes. If you see the box as a singular number and it's a small box where only one dice can fit, that's what it means. So I would have to roll a 6, a yellow 6 to put in there. That's the only thing that can cover that box. If that number, let's say, was a 4, then I can put a 4, 5, or 6. And since it has a skull, it would have to be the color that it indicates. If it didn't have a skull or didn't prohibit me from using a neutral dice, a heroic dice, the black die, then I can put a 4, 5, or 6 heroic die there and it would cover it. In every encounter that you're going to have, you first have to cover the shields. So with every encounter, without exception, you have to cover the shields before you can start doing damage or protecting yourself against potential damage. So we're gonna flip this card right back and you'll see that on this side there's also requirements. It says for traps, all traps, on the first floor I would have to cover this box, which is a neutral 2. All the traps here in this dungeon are neutral color, so it can be a heroic dice, blue dice, pink die, or yellow die. It doesn't matter as long as I fulfill the requirement. So for the first floor, if I'm encountering a trap, I have to satisfy this before I move forward. If it's an encounter with a creature, I have to satisfy on the first floor this right here. Now I can ignore this because it's not a shield, but I'll take 1 damage, okay? In addition to what's on the creature card. When you go to the second floor, you have to satisfy the requirements of the first and the second floor, depending on what your encounter is. If it's with a trap, you have to cover the 2, satisfy that because it's a shield, and the 6. And if you don't have the 6, you will take 1 damage. And if it's a creature encounter, you will have to satisfy the 3 and the blue 5. That's a yellow 3 and a blue 5 accordingly. So it could be 3, 4, 5, either heroic or yellow. And here it could be 5 or 6, heroic or blue. All right, and you get the picture. When you get to the third floor, there's a whole bunch of more requirements there, okay? And so unless a card specifically excuses you from that. So we'll slide that right under here. And this is our reference turn card. And we're almost here to get started. Get myself situated. Hopefully everything goes smooth. Hopefully you guys are hearing me well as well. I am not in a soundproof room, but I'm trying my best here. Just having some fun with you guys. All right. So we're going to do the first thing, and that is we're going to address the Hall of Statues. So at the start of each turn, we're going to spend, that's our turn reference card. It says spend 2. So I'm going to discard 2 off to the side here. 1, 2. And then the Hall of Statues say we have to spend an extra 5 before your first turn on each floor. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then now we can commence officially putting out cards or doors, I should say. So we're gonna put 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and hopefully you guys can see that. Line that up. I'm gonna be moving stuff around here to make room for myself for when we start getting items and all that good stuff, because that's what eventually we want to do. We want to level up our character and get ready for that final boss fight, if and when we make it. Okay, so if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna move this over to the side off camera, but I'm gonna keep it there so I can see it and just give myself a little bit more room for my die. Okay, so we are on our turn. We spent the 2, we spent the 5, and we're drawing and adding face down doors. That's what we just did here, and there are 4 total doors in play. And so we can spend 2 more, because that's a turn. To my understanding, that's a turn. So we're gonna spend 2 more because it's a new turn. And now that we have the doors, we can enter a room. So let's enter a room. I'm gonna pick this one here, and it is our friend, the ice elemental. Okay, and he's not our friend. I'm being facetious on that. But this guy, if I even try to fight him, it's gonna kick in my teeth. I would have to get 11 yellow, a total of 11 just on my yellow die to address that shield. That's a no-go. I have 3 die. No, I would have to get a 12, and then so I have the choice of putting him back down, okay, or not even addressing him, I should say. I'm gonna put him there, and I'm gonna run away. I can run. Now, because I run doesn't mean that he goes away. I'm the one that fleed, okay? So I'm running, but that door stays open and will remain open, okay? And so I'm gonna spend 2 more. 1, 2, because it's a new turn. And I'm gonna open this one here. And this one is, I'm getting all these heavy hitters now. A shadow. That shadow says spend 1 for each skill that I use. And I'm just looking at the card. So the item that I can get after our encounter, whether I win or lose, guys, and you'll find this out, if I'm alive at the end of our encounter, whether I take no damage and defeat the obstacle or the creature, or whether they hit me for damage, at the end I get to loot, which is I can get an item, so an additional item from my level, so I can add that 1 dexterity to my Paladin on this side, or I can take this skill down here which says, and there's a little symbol there, let me bring it up a little closer for you guys so you can see. So there's a symbol, oh sorry, this way. See that symbol there? It's for a total 4. So if I roll 2 blue die or 1 die, as long as it equals 4, I can spend those 4 or trade them in. And then what I'll gain, what that skill allows me to do, is I gain a +4 yellow. So I'll get an automatic 4 yellow, an automatic pink 4, and then I can increase 1 of my dice by 1. So any of the dice that I have on or in the play area. So that's pretty cool. I had that skill before, and I could only use that. It says the thing there, it says I can only use it against creatures. I can't use it for traps. So you got to take that into consideration as well. I'm not going to fight this dude. He's just too tough for me. So I'm going to end my turn there. 2 doors are open now, so we got to get something good. I'm going to spend 2 more. 1, 2, because at every turn is 2, and I'm going to open this door and see what we get. A skeleton. So this guy here, it says if any boxes are empty, spend 2 more. 2 more in time. Okay? So I would have to address the shields first, which is at 2 and the 4. So the loot here is 1 dexterity or 1 more pink die that we add to our pool. And our skill down here is spend a potion. I use a potion and spend 2 time before an encounter and skip to the claim loot phase. I've had this and this has been really helpful before to loot a creature of their skill or XP without having to fight them. I can just bypass a whole encounter. So, you know what? I'm going to fight him. Okay, so I'm going to put him down here. And you see, and this is where there's a lot of moving pieces. Remember when we opened this door here? You see he has 1, 2, 3, 4. I have a heroic die that I can store because that's part of my character. So it says if I open a door with a 4+ experienced enemy, I can get a heroic die. So I have a heroic die that's the first thing I can do in the encounter. I'll make a choice as to whether I want to fight the creature or address a trap. Use a heroic feat. I'm going to use the heroic feat. So we're going to move our little box here. Okay. So I'm going to roll this heroic die on its own. A 2. All right. I'm going to set that 2 aside. Then I'm going to gather all my dice. Okay. And when you're doing a creature encounter, you use all your die, okay, in the pool. Even if the creature doesn't have a color on your card or of your die, you use all of them, okay? And all right, not bad. So we got, let's get the blue one. 6, a 4, a 3, and then we got 4. What is this? A 5, a 2. And then a pink 2, and that's out of your view. Let's move it here. Pink 2, and then our heroic 2. So let's move this back over here. All right, so here's where the fun starts. So if I leave any boxes open, I got to spend 2 more, which it is what it is, all right? So I got to address the shields first. And remember, we also have this 3, this yellow 3 that I have to address or I'll take damage. So let's address the blue shields for this one. So we're going to put a 3 here. Okay. A 4 right here. Move that up a little bit. Okay. And then so he has, now I can start ticking away at all the other boxes. I'm more concerned about taking damage than I am of time. And there's a balance here because you don't want to zip through all the cards because that's your opportunity to level up and to get skills and all that other stuff, excuse me. But at the same time, you know, sometimes it is what it is. You're going to lose time. You'll find yourself on the 2nd floor. And as you progress, it's going to get harder and harder. So I can't do nothing with that too. That's not going to satisfy anything. This heroic 2 is not going to satisfy anything. I don't have any skills right now that can modify my dice in any way. So I got to do with what I got. So a 5 to cover up this 5 here because I want that one there because that has a heart. And I'm going to cover up the one on the card because that has a heart as well. And it looks like at this point that I'm going to spend 1, 2, 3, 4, and an additional 2. That would be 5 in total, and take 1 damage. That's what it looks like. So yeah. So let's spend 5 because that's our reality. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna remove these dice. And I'm only going to take, and we're just gathering our stuff back. And then this heroic goes away for now. And I'm going to take the 1 damage because we can't take less than that. So if it was 2 damage, it would have been 1. But since it's only 1, I gotta take the 1. Okay, so there's 1 there on our Paladin play card for now. Let me just move that over. Okay. All right. So what do we got with this skeleton? Again, I can take some extra dice. I can use an XP, or I can use that skill. What do we want to do with this guy? I would like to... You know what? It's early in the game. I'm going to take the potion option, the skill. Well, not the skill. Yeah. Yeah, the skill option. Under here. Actually, I'll just put it under here. And actually, I don't think that that is a skill. That's just a potion option, and I can only carry... I'll start with 1 potion token and add 1 for each potion type identified. A token may be spent to use any of the effects below. So I got 1 potion. Okay, but I claimed that card as a potion. Again, if you guys are watching this and you've played this and I did something wrong here, but I'm just adding it to my potion slot here because it's not a skill. It's for my potions here, but I don't see any limit as far as how many potions options I can have. So we'll leave that 1 there, okay? And so that'll end our turn. Let's reset our die. And let's move that off to the side. Spend 2 more. 1, 2. And I'm just gonna flip this card here. And we have another Ugg. An ogre. And this guy will kick my teeth in. So we're going to... Let's see what it says. So his skill is discard any number of value 5 dice and gain that many in yellow 6. That's good to have, and that's a continuous thing I can use. I can use that for fights, and I can use that for traps. Oh, and you know what? We just picked up this spend 2 before an encounter and skip to the claim loot phase. I would use a potion. So it's early enough in the game where I can just use the potion, and I'm gonna do that because I want that skill. So I'm going to use the potion, put that off to the side. Got no more potions, and I'm gonna skip the encounter because I'm using that potion there, and I already spent the 2. So we're gonna slide this under here, and I'm gonna use that. All right, and that's a continuous action, so I can use that for every round. That is great. I think that was a great move. Okay, so let's move these to the side, and let's spin 2 more. 1, 2. Move these over here. 2. Okay, and then draw 2 more doors. See, now if all 4 of my doors were open, then I would have had to go back and fight. The first time you can flee, but the second time when you go into that same room, that door is open, you have to address the card. So there's no running on that one. All right, so we're going to flip a card. And man, what's up with these cards? Got a Wraith. So this rave says before the encounter, convert one item to XP. Well, I don't have any items. So that's irrelevant. If I would have collected an item here before, I would have had to discard it and actually put it on the side of this card here towards my XP count. But since I don't have that, yeah, that's fine. We're gonna put that off to the side. And so what are we gonna do? We got, so I can attack this Wraith and its skill, which I can gain another skill. My level allows me to do that. One item and 2 skills is for every pink die I turn in, I gain a pink 6. This is cool, but I can only use it for encounters. That's good to go. And I can see I'm more than likely going to take some damage. Do I want to risk it, or do we want to flip another card? You know what? I'm going to go for it. Let's go for it. Why not? I only live once. So if I had a heroic die, I don't. So no heroic feat. So I'm going to grab all my dice, gather all my dice. And let's move this card so we can see it. I have to address the shields first. So a total of 9 in magic, blue die, and a 5 or higher in a yellow. Ooh, that looks pretty. Ooh, that looks good. A 6 here. Another 6 here. All right. This is the rolls I like to do. This one sucks. 5. 5. 1. Okay, you're looking good. And a 6. All right, so let's set the box aside. We didn't have any heroic die. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. So that skill for that ogre that we got the last time, it says discard any number of value 5 dice and gain that many in yellow 6s. Do I need more yellow 6s? Let's see. Maybe, maybe not. Well, the first thing is, before we do all of that, I have to address, and I'm not going to get rid of any 5s because I'm going to need those for those blue dice for the shields. So 5 and 5 is 10, cover that 9. So that's satisfied. We take a yellow 6 and cover that 5. That's that shield. That's satisfied. We'll take this 6 and cover the 5. That's satisfied. And then I can't do anything with that pink 6 and that 1 and that other 1 there. So I won't be able to cover that 3. So that's 1 heart, 2 heart, that's 2 damage. But I'm taking 1 only. So that's going to be 1 damage, and I spend 2 time. So I'm going to add 1 more token to my Paladin here. That's 2 damage. Instead of taking the 2 for 3, I take 1 for the 2. Reset these dice and spend 2. 1, 2. And we get to loot this rave. Now. Now, I am at my limit. Or no, I'm not at my limit for skills. I need more die. That's what I need. I need more die. But I like this. I like this down here. I like this skill because I only have 1 pink for dexterity. And no matter what I roll, if I trade it in, I get back a 6. So we're going to use that. Slip it under here. And that puts me at my... That put me at my max on my current level, level 1. Where I could only have 2 skills. And I still don't have 1 item. So the next thing I loot can be for 1 item or XP to level up. And that's basically it. All right. So the turn has ended, right? Now we spend 2. 1, 2. Put out a door. Okay. That's a turn, right? Because we explore, found a door. So now I can either address one of those that's already open, which I'm not. Those guys will still kick my teeth in. I'm going to spend 2 more. 1, 2. And I'm going to open this door. Let's see. Ah, my goodness. This must be the evil twin brother of the other ogre. So this guy, you can see, we've already seen this guy, all right? But since he has, whenever I open a door with a 4 or higher, as far as this, which is this guy right here, I get a heroic die. But I'm still not gonna mess with Ugg Ugg. I'm gonna leave him alone. Yeah, we ain't ready for that. We're not ready for that. Okay, so we're gonna run, and that ends our turn. All right, so hopefully you guys are following along right now, and you can see that once you start getting into the flow, I have the book right here, the instruction manual. It's a couple of pages long. It's well illustrated. Certain things, you know, I'm not gonna say are left for interpretation, but you know, some of you guys might want to do some homebrew rules. To what extent you can do that, I'm not too sure. I mean, to each their own. I try to stick to the rules one on one, but things that like turns and stuff, some people might say, well, you don't need to flip 2 more cards or spend 2 more turns just putting doors out. I do. You know, I put the doors out and end my turn, and then to open a door or start that turn, I flip 2 more. So that's just me. But you might want to do it some other way, and I don't see any damage or hurt in that. But as far as following the rules, I think for you to enjoy the game the most, you have to try to stick to the rules. And it's easy to learn, easy to pick up. All right, let's open this last door. Well, first, let's spend 2. 1, 2, because we're not going to fight that brute, or that ogre, I should say. And all right, okay, a ruin puzzle. A ruin puzzle. So this ruin puzzle, let's pick it up. It says I can either decipher it. Oh, sorry, it's out of the camera. I can decipher it, and I would have to spend 2 time, or I can destroy it. Deciphering is magic with the blue die. Destroy it with the yellow die. And remember, I have to satisfy that 2 as well. That's a trap, and that's a neutral color. So let's see, what do we want to do? I think that, and then we can loot it for 1 more pink die for dexterity, and we can't do any more skills or XP. I think I'm gonna do it for the pink die. Now, what do I want to do? Do I want to decipher it? Do I want to decipher it, or do I want to destroy it? Which one? I want to spend time. Yeah, let's, because I have to satisfy that too up there. You know what? I got 3 blue die. I'm not gonna roll the heroic. I'm gonna save that heroic, but I'm gonna decipher it. So I'm gonna spend 2. 1, 2. Put these cards all to the side, and we're going to decipher it. So let me bring my box in. 3. Okay, 3 die. That means I have to get a 6 at least, and something higher than a 2. Oh my goodness, we just did it. So the 3 is gonna go over the shield because we gotta address that first. And 5 plus 1 is 6. So we did it. All right, so we took no damage, no consequences. We're good to go. And I'm just gonna use it to gain an extra die. So this is where the extra die go, and I'm gonna slide this over a little bit more. just so that I can squeeze this in here. Let me fix that up. Okay, and we're going to put this, if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna slide this here, slide this guy down here, and we're gonna move this under here. So you see how that works? I just slid that there, and it's an item, so it gives me an extra pink die. Isn't that cool? That's really cool. So I get one more to my pool. So now I have 3 attack die, 2 dexterity, 3 magic. All right, and we're good, baby. We're on a roll. And I got a heroic die stored up because of that one creature that appeared. And so let's start another turn. All right, so turn is ended. Got all my loot. Everything's cool. Everything's reset. Let's flip 2. 1, 2, and put a door out. Okay, I'm gonna put that one right there. Okay, and we're gonna flip 2 more cards. Okay, so we're getting to the end of the deck here. 1, 2. Now, this card here is the stairs to descend to the 2nd floor. Okay, and it says here, while visible, place a damage token here for each time spent. Each time there are 3 tokens here. Place 1 on a hero, and remove the other 2. At the end of any turn, the hero may descend. If this card is revealed while spending time to start a turn, then heroes may descend immediately. So I was spending time, and then I put the door out. So since this is revealed right here, I can go down the stairs immediately, okay, and go to the 2nd floor and start adventuring in the 2nd floor. Or I can spend some time, spend this turn, and on the next one, I can decide to go down. But every time that I stay a turn, I have to put one of these hearts from my pool over there on the stairs. When 3, it says when 3 are gathered here, then 2 go back and I take 1 damage. So it's gonna keep you moving. You can't spend all the time on the dungeon floor. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to open the door. Let's see. Yeah, let me well, no, I can't. That's the same turn, so I can open this door. Actually, the way I've been playing it, I wouldn't be able to open the door. There's no more cards to dispense. So let me make sure I did that right. Because I put that door out there, and this is just from my consistency. Since I put that door out there, I don't have any more cards to spend. However, I will take 1 marker, and I'm only planning on staying up here for 1 turn, but I have to take 1 on that to remind me, hey, you decide to stay there. That's for your turn. There's no more cards to flip. So, and let me see if I'm reading that right. Place a damage token here for each time spent. Okay, so each time spent, that's not turns. It's spent. So I have to take 2 heart markers and put them there. That means that will become 1 damage to me if I stay here after this turn. So since I put the 2 markers there, I'm flipping this card, and oh my goodness, a fire elemental. He has 1, 2, 3, 4. So according to my heroic feat, I can store another die. So I got 2 die, I can have a maximum of 2. And this guy says flames. Before the encounter, place a heart on a hero. You know what? I don't want to mess with this guy. We're going to leave him there. And I'm going to descend to the 2nd floor. All right, guys. If you want to continue watching this playthrough, tune in for the next one. I'm going to number them. But for the sake of keeping this video under 1 hour. I'm gonna end it here. Hope you guys enjoyed or enjoying the playthrough, and you join me on the next one. This is Drama Free Gaming. Keep your life and your gaming drama free. Later, people.